Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. And welcome to Wednesday. We're halfway through this week. If you're in South Africa, then today might be a public holiday for you. You might have a rest day in the middle of the week. This week we don't have one specific single teacher that helps us into every meditation, but a whole lot of different ones. And today specifically the teacher is John Kabat-Zinn. Good morning, Maggie. Good morning, Stefan. Grania, good morning. Awesome starting my morning right here with you. All right, let's get into today's thought, today's message. In the whirlwind of daily life, it's really easy to get caught up in our own heads, perpetually jumping between anxieties about the future and regrets about the past. This constant state of mental time travel can leave us feeling exhausted and disconnected from the richness of the present moment. We become like ghosts haunting our own lives, perpetually dissatisfied with the now because we're fixed on a should have been or on a what if. This, my friends, is the trap of trying to live in a moment that doesn't exist. Somebody, good morning. Danae, good morning. Anne-Marie, good morning. Happy Wednesday. John Kabat-Zinn, he's often called the father of mindfulness. He says the best way to capture moments is to pay attention. This is how we cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness means being awake. It means knowing what you are doing. Can you let go of the thought of what this moment should have been and accept what this moment calls for? John Kabat-Zinn says, mindfulness practice means that we commit fully in each moment to be present, inviting ourselves to interface with this moment in full awareness, with the intention to embody as best we can an orientation of calmness, mindfulness, and equanimity right here and right now, in every moment, in any moment. What is the power of the present moment? When I'm holding on to the thought of what this moment should have been, that I'm not in this moment. I'm trying to be in some other moment that doesn't exist. When I'm attached to the thought of what this moment should have been, then I'm guaranteed not to see what this moment actually does make available. When I'm standing in front of and banging on a locked door which I'm convinced should have been open, then my attachment to that thought will prevent me from stepping back and taking a real look around and see that there are 100 more doors for me to knock on. Living in presence does not mean only sitting and meditating, but it does mean that the more often you meditate, the easier it becomes to see with clarity what to take action on and what to let go of. So if you're ready, let's slip into today's journey, and it is called the power of now. You can close your eyes and let's float away, starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. A deep inhale and let it go. breath in. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine, lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. Mindfulness, or being present, is often depicted as something like being in a yoga studio, or sitting and meditating on a mountaintop, or floating in a gorgeous lake somewhere. While these might all be really valid experiences, they capture one very simple example of being present. And it ignores the fact that if I'm wishing I was sitting on the mountaintop or floating in the lake, I'm likely not being present. I'm trying to escape where I am right now. Those images of presence, while they are valid experiences, doesn't capture the true nature of presence. Being present is a firm decision to be right here, where I am, right now. It is the firm decision to deal with whatever it is that I'm faced with right now. Being truly present means I choose to not turn away. I choose to not run. I choose to not have those few drinks that make me forget about what it is that I really should be dealing with right now. And I'm not saying we should never do that. But when we do, we should understand what we're doing in trying to not be present. How do we get better at not wanting to turn and run, not wanting to numb out? Well, being right here where you are right now is a beautiful opportunity to practice. Practice being present with whatever it is that is happening. Meditation is a beautiful tool. And what we're practicing right now is recognizing our own thoughts that sound something like, this moment should be different. I should be somewhere else. And realizing that those thoughts are what keep us from being present. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch and adjust and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward. And then roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left. And forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. You can lean your upper body over to the left and also lean your upper body over to the right. Keep in your mind the image of a banana and see how your spine follows that curve. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least as much as we are able to do right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, then with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in. and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips in and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath. But hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, take a moment to reflect on this word, presence, being present, being right here, right now, always. Take your next big breath. We'll take a few moments to explore our own examples of not being present. So I'm asking you to search through your memory. You might have some really recent examples, which is great to use. Or perhaps you'd have to search a bit further back to find good examples. But see if you can find an example of yourself thinking that I should be somewhere else. Finding yourself in a moment in which your mind keeps wanting to be in a different place, in a different moment, not being where you are. Can you find a recent example, or perhaps further back? Take your next big breath. We'll try the question in a different way. The thought of what this moment should have been. Do you have any experience of that? Experience of showing up to a moment, but your mind having an attachment to the thought of what this moment should have been, how this moment should have been different. If you search back through your memory, can you find some examples of you arriving to a moment and your mind just not able to let go of the thought of what this moment should have been? Bring those examples a little bit closer. Take your next big breath. This is not pointing a finger at your mind for being so unhelpful. This is not pointing a finger at you for your inability to be present. But it shines a light on what our job is. Our work is to become aware of when our minds do this, because it's a very human thing to happen. To become aware of when our minds are trying to say it should be different, we should be somewhere else. And then bring ourselves back to this present moment. I'll use a few very simple examples. I want you to imagine you're driving to perhaps an important meeting. You've got to be there at a certain time. You've got to be in the meeting at a certain time. It's one of those mornings where things are running a bit late. Traffic's hectic. It slowed you down. And then you realize you have a flat tire. Now you're standing at the side of the road, and your mind says, this should not be happening right now. I should be on my way to the meeting. I'm going to be late. Can you resonate with a similar experience? What is most helpful to you in this moment? Would your mind trying to be at the meeting help you be present with what needs to get done? What this moment calls for is for your attention to be on changing a wheel. How quickly can you bring your mind to be present and put down the idea of needing to be in a meeting? How quickly can you talk to your mind and say, here is where we are. This is what we're paying attention to. We're changing a tire. Take your next big breath. Another very simple example. You've been planning a birthday party, and it's been planned to be outside because that's where you have the most space. Invitations have gone out months ago. There's excitement for this birthday party. And on the morning of the birthday party, even though it's not the time of the year that it normally rains, today it's raining. Things are not going according to plan. Not your plan anyway. How much does your mind hold on to the thought of what this moment should have been? A sunny day with a fun party outside. How much energy is your mind going to spend on a moment that doesn't exist? How good are you at catching your mind and having a conversation with your mind saying, here is what it is. We're not having a party outside, so let go of the thoughts. What this moment calls for is figuring out how to make a party work inside where we don't have enough space. Yet this is what we're doing. How well have you been able to catch your mind and bring it to being present? Take your next big breath. And one last really simple example. You're meeting up with an old friend, someone you haven't seen for a long time. You're meeting up for coffee or tea, and you're really looking forward to this. In your mind, you can see how the conversation reminisces about the good old days, sharing where your lives are at now and what you're excited about in the future. But when the moment of this coffee or tea meeting arrives, your friend just doesn't show up that way. She seems distracted. It seems as though her mind perhaps is somewhere else, and it doesn't matter how much you try and talk about the good old days. It's like she just can't go there with you. How much does your mind try and force this conversation into the way you thought it should have been? How good have you become at catching your mind and saying, I need to let go of my idea of what this moment should have been and be open to what this moment is right now. Perhaps what this moment calls for is for me to be the one who just holds a space. Perhaps what I need to do right now is just listen. Let someone be seen and be heard. Have you gotten better at catching your mind and saying we're going to let go of the thought of what this moment should have been, and we're going to be present? We're going to deal with exactly what is here. Take your next big breath. We'll take one more big breath together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I'll read to you again Jon Kabat-Zinn's words on being present and being mindful. He says, the best way to capture moments is to pay attention. This is how we cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness means being awake. Mindfulness means knowing what you are doing. And he says, mindfulness practice means we commit fully in each moment to be present, inviting ourselves to interface with this moment in full awareness, with the intention to embody as best we can an orientation of calmness, mindfulness, and equanimity right here, right now, in every moment. We're going to practice catching our mind. Just imagine for a moment showing up to a moment where you realize what your mind's trying to do is being somewhere else. When you realize your mind is trying to say it should be different, you should be in a different place. I want you to see yourself show up to that moment. Create an example in your mind. And then stopping and ask yourself, what does this moment ask of me? Can you see yourself show up to a difficult situation and instead of trying to avoid, ask, what does this moment ask of me? What does this moment ask me to step up and do? Anywhere else we try to spend our energy is unproductive and wasteful. Being present is simply the most effective productivity tool that you have. And every moment brings its own opportunity. Even if it's a moment we feel we might not want to be in. Every moment uniquely makes something available to you. But if you're trying to be somewhere else, you'll miss it. So here's another question I want you to try. See yourself being able to ask this question. What does this moment make available to me? We'll try it again. See yourself show up in a moment where perhaps your knee-jerk reaction might be, I don't want to be here. Can you see yourself ask the question, what does this moment make available to me? What opportunity does this moment bring? As a recap, this is not about pointing a finger, casting blame, about moments when you should be more present, but simply in exercising this muscle. First of all, the awareness that my mind is trying to be somewhere else. And then practicing the muscle that says, no, we're going to be here. Here is where we are. Where my feet are at. This is where I am. And I'll get better at asking these questions. What does this moment ask of me? What does this moment make available to me? What opportunity does this moment bring? Let every moment be your teacher in this way. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for this moment right here, right now. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for the reminder that where my feet are at, that is where I am. And trying to be anywhere else is simply a waste of energy. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having learned how being present really means turning towards, never looking away, never trying to avoid what is in front of me right now. Take a deep breath in. But also thank you for learning to have patience with this human being, this human body, and this human mind. Understanding that also sometimes we do need to give ourselves a break. Because if I don't give myself the opportunity to rest, then I'll struggle being present tomorrow. So sometimes what the present moment calls for is to put everything down and take a break. Thank you for the wisdom to see that. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for taking the time to be present with us right here, right now, where your feet are at. Stephen, a very good morning. It's always a lovely surprise seeing you pop in with us live. Thank you, Grania. Wishing you a beautiful Wednesday. Thank you, Danae. Thank you, Anne-Marie. Leshna, good morning. How good it is to see you. Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Sunmuddy. Thank you, Stefan. Have a beautiful day. See you again soon. Ciao, ciao.